Good morning. It's Sunday morning, and if you've just woken up, yes, yep, it did happen. Tottenham actually went to the empty had and came away 4-0 winners. Now, come on, even the best of us wasn't predicting that. I know I did an SDS preview with lots of score predictions, and a lot of them 3-1, thinking 3-1, and I thought that's very, very optimistic. I personally went for a 1-0. George Butcher went for an 8-0, so he was a little bit over the top. He didn't say which way he was going to go, though, to be fair to him, so he kind of edging his bets there. But listen, there is no way was I expecting us to go up there and to smash them 4-0 in the manner that we did. First 10 minutes, that didn't look likely, really didn't look likely, but great ball out from the back from Dragushin, I believe. Lucky, little bit of a lucky bounce there to fall to Kulu, who again was outstanding. Puts in an inch perfect cross, and James Maddison running on it and just volleys it into the back of the net. Brilliant all round goal, and that was it. That was it. The game was ours. Now, I'll be honest, even when you're sitting there 3-0 up, I'm messaging with Sweary Alex because I was watching on a dodgy stream. And I was messaging with Alex, who was up to date, and I was about 8 minutes behind. And I was sitting there like a cat on hot bricks. I've got to be honest with you. Even at 3-0 up, I was still thinking, if we can get to 85 minutes, I'd take a draw. I think we'd get a draw out of this. And that just shows you what it's like being a Spurs fan, right? We predict with our heart. What I do anyway, I predict with my heart. And before the game, I was thinking to myself, it's a free hit. Like, if we lose, we lose. They're on a bad run. They've lost 4 games. Surely they're not going to lose 5 in a row. It's going to be difficult. We've got Romero out. We've got Van der Ven out. You know, our options are very, very limited. But I had a feeling that we might just sneak it. Bit of luck. But to kind of see it through in the end was fantastic. And for all of us today that are celebrating that win, you've got to celebrate it. I don't care what anybody else is saying, because there will be people out there that are saying things like, well, sit here in a really bad way. They've got players out, blah, blah, all that, you know. But listen, when it clicks, it clicks. When it works, it works. It really works. And you have to say, Vicario, a number of really important saves, did really, really well, commanded his box, came out, took the ball from corners, really looked assured, and not under any kind of real pressure. Then you've got the back 4, Porro getting on the score sheet, Udogie looking solid on the left, and then you've got Dragushin and Davis in the centre. And there are a number of people calling it out today. I've kind of said last night, should I say, seeing Ben Davies getting absolute credit for his performance. But that's Ben Davies. That's what Ben Davies does. Now, does he have a mistake in him? Of course he does. Is he the quickest? Of course he's not. Does he always get in the right positions? No. But listen, no player does. No player does. Everybody calls out Romero as this brilliant player. But at the end of the day, if he makes a mistake, we call it out, right? So, you know, for me, I just think every player has that option of getting something wrong. But Ben Davies yesterday had a brilliant game, solid, worked hard, good interceptions, and so on and so forth. And then again, the same for Dragushin, who's again coming under a lot of pressure. But does he really deserve that pressure? Does he really deserve all the all the kind of pressure that they're kind of putting on him and calling him out as being really, really poor? This is a guy that's not really played regularly. He's finding his way. He's getting into the team, trying to play a different style and so on. So you've got to give him credit where credit's due. You've got to call him out when it's right. But at the end of the day, we have to celebrate when you win a game like that, a really big game against a really big team. to heap even more misery on Pep Guardiola. Now, I've got absolutely no doubt that Pep Guardiola will turn this around and Man City will go on and probably win the league. Or if they don't win the league, they'll win the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup or not the Carabao Cup, obviously, because we knocked them out, but the Champions League, wherever it is, they'll win something because they're that kind of club. We're coming up to January, they'll splash the cash, I'm sure, and get something in that they really, really need. But I'm not bothered about them. I'm bothered about us. I'm bothered about what we did in that game. Kulu, I thought, was outstanding. Could have had a goal. If that one that would have took us from 3-0 to 4-0. I thought really good save by Maddison. Everything was kind of set up just perfect. He kind of cuts in like that and always does it. I think they probably knew that's what he was going to do. So Edison edged his bets and was able to stay big and clock that. But Kulu, you've got to shout him out. Great play from him. There's just so many to call out in there. Maddison on his birthday getting a brace in the second goal. Although the first goal was brilliant, really well executed, really well taken. The second goal pounced on a mistake, played it in. You could see what he was going to do. He was pointing, directing where it goes. Great little ball to Sonny, who, like, I'm looking at that thinking, where's he going to go with that? And kind of, pulled it backwards or, around the side into the path of Maddison perfectly. And he just little dink just over the keeper, 2-0. And we're in heaven, aren't we? We're in heaven. I guess the thing, I know I'm jumping about a bit, but the thing for me was seeing the game as a free hit initially is one thing. But once you're in the game and you're 2-0 up, then my heart's going like this, pounding. My blood pressure's going through the roof and all that sort of stuff. We've got a hold of it. You don't want a collapse. You don't want another collapse like the Brighton game. But of course, coming into the second half, now some great work again in the middle of the pitch there, and Dom Solanke makes the right choice to play that ball back to Porro, who fires it into the top of the net. Game over. Was it game over? Listen, I've seen us go lose 5-3 from a 3-0 winning position. So it's never over until it's over, right? But you've got to start thinking to yourself, this is some performance. But again, a big thing in this game is the clean sheet as well. I predicted a clean sheet. I don't know why. I had it in my head that there'd be a clean sheet in this. Don't know why. Don't know why that happened, but just how I felt. But to come away with that is as important as the win, and is as important as scoring the goals that we're going. We do like 4. We do like scoring 4 goals. We've smashed Everton for 4, Villa for 4. Man City for 4. It's a scoreline we like. When it clicks and it works, we are banging the goals in. We can get amongst the goals. A little bit of a special call out for Timo Werner as well, because again, I give him loads of not stick, but I do call him out quite often. But coming on late in the game like he did, and pouncing on the mistake by Grealish, and then just burning past Kyle Walker. Obviously, Kyle may be getting tired in the game or whatever. He's getting older and so on. But that was, for me, one of the first times I've really seen Timo Werner use the qualities he has to actually make an impact. Burnt past him, played a really good ball, and there he is, the tap-in merchant, as they say. Young Johnson, ole, Johnson again, to come in and bang another one. Makes it 4. We're in dreamland, and everything that you want to see from this game, you've seen. So, great defending, great goalkeeping, battling midfield, quality attacking football, 4 goals, clean sheet. It's dreamland, right? What else could you ask for from this team? Well, I guess the one thing we need to ask for is that when we then play Fulham, who also lost quite heavily, 4-1, I think, against Wolves, that we go in that game and we don't throw it away. We don't turn up like we did against Ipswich and expect, we've beat the champions. we can beat anybody and then not take that game seriously. Fulham have had some good results this season. They've played well. They're in the Premier League. They're a Premier League side. They've been in the Premier League for a while now. They're no mugs. You've got to take that seriously. And these players need to wake up to that, because consistency has got to be the key. If we'd have beaten Ipswich, we'd have been right in the mix of it. You know, you've got to take each game as it comes. You only get 3 points for beating Man City, in the same way you only get 3 points if you beat Ipswich. We didn't do the latter, and that is the concern. So Andrew's really got some work to do to make sure that you keep the players high. Say, look, this is what you can do, but you've got to do that for everybody. So not wanting to be a Debbie Downer, but you've got to say it how it is. We've got to start thinking about the next game. Roma on Thursday, the Europa League. Again, that's not going to be easy, because they've got a new manager and all the rest of it. And they're going to want to put on a show. But win that game and we're basically through. We're not too worried about the others, that we should be able to get through those. So in terms of all the doom and gloom that we had after Ipswich, with that international break and all the rest of it, which kills you, it's great to be feeling positive and happy about how we're progressing. It's clear that all the talk about Ange falling out with Maddison is bullshit. Falling out with all the top players, he's rubbish. The guy is doing what he's doing. And at the end of the day, if they're upset that Ange is calling them out, if that is in fact what he's doing, then realistically they need to get over themselves, because they let him down. This is what happens when you play what Ange wants you to play, in the manner that he wants you to play it, with the effort that he wants you to play. You win. Now, if you're not going to do that, you deserve to be called out. I'd have called out an awful lot more than maybe the manager would. But listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. Only concern for me, I guess, for that game, and I'm hoping that some of these injuries will start to improve. Is great to see loads of youngsters on the bench, but that is a lot of inexperience for a game against Man City, and that is a bit of a worry. You know, you've got a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old on the bench. Great for them, but are they really going to change the game? Do we really think that that's what's going to happen? So again, I'm going to come back to the point that Daniel Levy needs to ensure that he keeps moving forward and he keeps buying the players that we need to bolster this squad. If you want to continue in the Carabao Cup, you want to continue in Europe, you want to keep pushing for the top four, you want to go further in the FA Cup, you need players. You need players, and you need players of quality. You need the youngsters to come through to keep that momentum going as you progress in years. But you also need players that are here now that are going to help those guys develop and start that winning mantra. So listen, great Sunday, great to have a good Sunday. The only thing that would have been better is if the other lot down the road had lost as well. But we'll see where it goes. Like I say, Roma next, then Fulham, Bournemouth, and then Chelsea, which will again. One I'm really looking forward to, because that will be the measure of whether we are taking this on board or not, whether we are moving forward. Going to have to keep our heads in that one, and it's going to be a really, really tough game, because they're going well under their new manager. So we need to make sure that we're right up for it, but in the right way. So anyway, listen, I'm sorry I've rambled on yet again. I know I do, but I'll be back on Tuesday with an episode of Shooting the Shit, where we'll be able to talk about the game with the guys, maybe talk about it in a little bit more depth. If you've got questions, comments, or stuff like that, please feel free to put them forward, and I'll add them into the conversation. If you can join us, please do comment in the comment section, because it's good to have your comments, and we can kind of bounce off of those as well. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one, and as always, up the Spurs.